Hello everyone, welcome back to our channel. It's been a minute since we have posted on here. There's been a lot happening, and I want to update you guys and bring you up to where we are right now in our process with urban homesteading. And so the first thing I want to say is, for those who are new to the channel, I am a full-time teacher and a children's pastor. So when we say that we homestead, we're homesteading in addition to working full-time jobs. My husband is a landscaper. He has his own company. My mom is retired and lives with us, but she also works in the schools on a volunteer program that she's part of in teaching leadership to middle schools and or middle school kids. And so all of us are very busy. Our high schoolers are still in school. My oldest son that doesn't live here but is still part of the homestead also has a full-time, actually a couple different jobs that he's doing. So to say that we're all busy is an understatement. So I'm trying to get to where this summer, while I'm out of school, where I can really make some videos for you guys and some content that's going to be engaging, but also kind of give you the behind the scenes of what it's like to homestead in the city. So that's kind of where we've been at. And I apologize. I don't know what happened to my selfie stick. So y'all are up close and personal with me today. All right. So this past week has been a little bit challenging. Where we're at in zone 8B, we had heat indexes in triple digits most of the days last week, which, having a landscape company, first of all, it's hard for those guys to work outside. But then on top of it, coming home and then also making sure that our animals are protected and whatnot is all very, very important when the heat is that high. And of course, we have chickens, we have quail, we have had rabbits. All of those things, we have to take that into account. When we get up to go to work in the morning, when we get up to go do something, we can't just get up and walk out the door. We have to make sure that our animals are prepared to endure whatever's happening that day. And I'm sure up north, the same thing is true. If there's snow and ice, you have to make sure your animals are protected. And, and in the garden too, I had to make sure they were, everything was watered every day, where normally I would water every other day or so, but with the heat, what it was, we had to water every day. So I say all of that to say that last week we were very intentional, as we knew the heat indexes and the heat advisories were in place. And we made sure our animals had extra water. We made sure we checked on them. We have cameras at the house, so we're able to see, if they're in the backyard, the chickens especially, the quail, see how they're doing and check on them and whatnot. But despite our best efforts with all that, we did end up losing 2 chickens. We lost one of our older hens, and we lost one of our meat chickens. And so that was hard. A lot of times we share the romantic side. Okay, hold on. This fire is getting a little bit warm now. Okay, I had to move away from it just a little bit. I started the fire to burn some cardboard, and it kind of took off and got a little bit more than I bargained for. Anyway, but this happens to be a really nice evening today, and it's cooled down significantly from the last week. But anyway, back to what I was saying with the chickens. So we ended up losing them despite our best efforts. And that's hard, Animals die, unfortunately, and a lot of times we want them to fulfill their purpose. And that means that they die with a purpose, at a certain time. But in this case, their purpose wasn't fulfilled, and it was hard. And when an animal dies on a homestead, when you're raising animals for food, you're not just losing that animal as like losing a pet. You're losing that food. So every bit of money and investment and time that you put into that as a food product, basically, is now no longer relevant. And so that was hard. Then on top of that, we went up to Greenville for like a weekend hiking trip, which is like 4 hours from us. And so we went, hiked the mountains, had a great time. I came back and was watering the garden and noticed that I didn't see any activity in my beehive. And I had checked it a few days before and it seemed okay. And so I walked over and lifted up the lid, and the bees were gone. Hive beetles had gotten in there. So I lost my hive this week also, or this past week. So those things were hard to handle, but it's part of the process. And so we have learned a lot in this process. For one thing, with the chickens, what we started doing was when it's hot like that in the middle of the day, we come out. They don't like it, but we come out and we hose them down and we cool them down. We also froze some strawberries and some green bean ends when we cut our green beans and snap them, so to speak. We froze those ends and we give them to them as a treat when it's really hot like that to help them stay cool. So that was the hard part. Now, on to the, I guess, cool part, good part, something new. So we have, if you've been on our channel, you know that we have had rabbits. We actually finished processing our first rabbits for meat. I know some people think rabbits are only pets, but they're actually a great meat source when you're homesteading. And so we processed our first ones, and we're working on tanning the pelts and learning how to do that. And it's all on a small scale, but we're learning. Each step we learn more on what to do, what not to do, steps to take with the next time we do it. Like, for example, with the beehive, the next time we put the bees in there, I'm going to make sure I have some type of beehive or hive beetle trap set up so that I can head it off from the beginning, and I'll check it more frequently and treat it if I need to, and just stay on top of that. Now, on a good note, so we now have rabbit in the freezer, which is great for meat. We have more meat chickens that we're going to process next week that we've been growing up and raising, which is going to be great. Even though we lost the one, we still have a few others. And so we've got all of that happening. And we're actually also teaching somebody else this week when we do that, how to do it, because they have chickens that they're raising up themselves. And so we are not only learning, but we're being able to teach other people in the process. So those are all things that are happening, on the homestead right now. Then also, we're just, we're coming into a season now where everything's beginning to really grow and thrive and produce fruit. I have a whole lot of pepper plants and tomatoes that are starting to produce. And so this next couple months is going to be full of a lot of canning, preservation, that sort of thing. And so I'm going to start sharing some more videos about all that as we go. This past couple months, any videos that I've shared have been kind of like the how-tos, the preparation. This is what we're trying to do. But now we're coming into a season where you're going to be able to see the fruits of all of that preparation. And so stay tuned, stay engaged, and we will have more for you soon. I'm also going to share a video probably tomorrow. We went yesterday to Spartanburg, again, another 4 hours away from us, to the Farm Where You Live conference. And it was amazing. It was so much knowledge and so impacting to see. And the thing that encouraged me the most was just the community of homesteaders that's raising up, of people that are in all different levels, some in apartments, some out with 50 plus acres, all with a desire to disengage from the system and the food system, and really make sure that their families and those around them are in a position to thrive despite what's happening with the food shortages and inflation and all of those things. And so there's a growing movement of people that are really taking responsibility for where their food comes from and protecting their family. And so that was a beautiful thing to see. However, in all of the couple hundred families that were there were only about 3 or 4 that were urban. And so our mission right now is to show that you can do this with little and use what you have and start somewhere and start taking care of your family and preparing. And that's what we're passionate about. That's why we show you a lot of our yard, to show you we're on 1/10 of an acre and we're doing a lot of stuff on that 1/10 of an acre. And so I just want to encourage you, even if you're in an apartment, even if you have a small space, there are videos on here, and we are in a position to help you with the knowledge that you need to get started. And so reach out to us. We're here for that. But keep an eye out, because I'll be sharing that video in the next couple days on our trip to the Farm Where You Live conference, and a lot of the things that we learned. And a lot of it was things we knew already, but it was good to hear it on a different level, and just really see the movement that's happening with all of that. So stay tuned, and we will share more with you later. Bye. See you again.